Joined now by our good friend Bob Vanderplatz. Last time we're going to see him until well into the month of March. Going to be about 40 days.
Place to put a comma. Last time we're going to see him.
I just, got to build the tension. Right? But you're heading down to you and Darla heading down to your annual snowbird getaway from the Iowa winter.
We are. So we'll be in Marco Island for the month of February, and it's always a great time to balance ministry and R&R. And believe me, we do some ministry there too. So people think that we're completely on vacation. We are not. We have a lot of supporters down there. Florida is one of our peer states, so we look forward to doing ministry in the Sunshine State.
So I thought it might be fun. We've never done it this way before. You get ready to go. But maybe we should make this like an annual thing.
Okay,
right? So
we'll see.
I've got a list
it's
of...
like an annual physical? I just had that.
Well, it's, Moon River. I've got 7 trend lines that are currently going on right now.
Okay.
And I thought it might be interesting to get you on the record so that when we talk to you again in about 40 days, maybe we'll go back to these questions and your answers.
Yeah, March 2. So it's not quite that
long. And see where we are. All right? And yeah, it is going to be that long because we have that day off because we're just coming back from Israel with a 9-hour jet lag. I know you've done that trip a few times.
I have.
Yeah, we're going to need an extra day to recover from that.
So we'll talk March 9.
Yeah. All right. Are you ready to go?
I am.
All
Let's do it.
All right, number one. And then if we have time, we'll get Todd and Aaron's take on your answers. if we have time, we'll see. All right?
They're going to score me.
All right, number one. Will Tim Walz have been arrested by the time you return?
No. Should he? Yes. Am I thrilled to see Tom Homan going to the state up north in Minnesota? Yes. It's for a host of reasons, but the Medicaid fraud in particular, at minimum, there has to be articles of impeachment brought up against this guy. I thought he was a buffoon when Kamala Harris put him on the national stage as vice president. Quite frankly, I thought that was just like a given to President Trump and J.D. Vance, just how bad this guy was. J.D. Vance took him to school. But now to see just how inept he is at leadership on every level. But no, I don't see him being arrested by the time I get back.
All right, number two. I'm going to put the over-under on total Democrats arrested. So they've arrested 3 so far, I believe, for the church storming in Minneapolis, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So whether it's this or the ongoing riots or anything else happening in the country, I'm going to put the total over-under on Democrats arrested while you're gone at 5. You taking the over or the under?
I'd take the under. I don't see them having the courage to do it. I really don't. Matter of fact, I'm almost feeling hard-pressed that's going to go beyond the 3 that they've already arrested. And maybe it's just me.
Because we all know it was just 3 people that stormed that church last
exactly.
night.
Well, you take a look at Don Lemon. And if a sanctuary cannot be a safe place, a house of worship, what can be a safe place? The Democrats always talk about we need a safe zone. We need a safety place. Well, a sanctuary? Are you kidding me? That's where you believe your freedom of speech should apply. I think it should be more, but I'll take the under on it.
So then what's Tom Homan going there to do, do you believe?
I think he's there to send a message and be reinforcement to the boots on the ground there. I can't imagine if you're an ICE agent right now, that's a tough spot to be in.
So in other words, he's got to do Kristi Noem's job.
Well, but also I have Kristi Noem's back too, because I believe Kristi Noem's probably got a tough job as well. But I think Tom Homan is like, hey, the sheriff is in town now. We mean business. We are not going away. And so that's why I think Tom's going up to Minnesota.
Number 4, Trump's current approval rating, according to the Real Clear Politics polling average, is 42.8. Will it be over or under that when you come back?
Yeah, I really believe it will be over. I think the more this gets played out, the more they're going to say, listen, Darla and I have said this, we travel a lot. If you go to a Republican city, you want to be out on the streets, you want to be out at dinner, you want to do whatever, and this is the inner cities. Right now, you go to a Democrat city, there's just a big difference between Democrat city and Republicans. I think people are starting to see this. Do you want law and order or do you not want law and order? Do you want an immigration process or don't you want an immigration process? A lot of the stuff he got elected on is what he's actually executing on right now.
So the one time so far this year, his approval rating has gotten a boost. And really, the one time so far in the last several months was after Maduro.
Sure.
The American people,
because they respect courage.
Strength. The American people, regardless of who's in power, will respond to what they perceive to be strength. If we don't arrest anybody, how does he look stronger 40 days from now to the American people?
Yeah.
If there's no consequences at all, how does he look stronger?
That's a really good question, because I think people are looking to see, okay, that, it's good to put Tom Homan up there, but what are you doing? Like you said, what's Tom Homan going up there for?
I mean, initially, Homan's messaging will be to counter Walz and Fry, the Minneapolis mayor up there. Yeah. And of course, Tom's going to do that with half his brain tied behind his back. And that's a good start, but that's not going to quell the level of it. One of the things we pointed out on our show, the two lesbians who were the first to try it, and the one of them that died suicide by ice at first with their own residential blockade. Yeah. This has permeated their water table to the point, like a lot of our people won't do bold stuff because they don't want to get in the way of their comfort. Mm-hmm. All right. This lesbian woman has had all of her desires affirmed by the culture. She's been granted, elite status in the culture. She's surrounded by total comfort. Her worldview's in total control of Minneapolis, right? Okay. Yep. And yet she was willing to risk her own life for that cause, despite those comforts. She was willing to risk them all for that, right? So I don't believe there's a single protester right now who's going to tune in to Tom Homan's superior, and I love Tom Homan, okay? But not a single one. Maybe you'll disagree. But I don't believe a single one's going to tune into Tom Homan's superior messaging to Tim Walz and Jacob Fry. That's the guy's name, right? Jacob Fry?
Yeah.
And they're going to say, well, by golly, I was going to listen to my 45,000 TikTok followers telling me that I'm a hero to sacred democracy if I go out there and give my life for the cause. But now, that was just a great 60-second quip by Tom Homan to, choose your Fox primetime host tonight. Yeah. You're going to take more commitment than that to stop them acting out, I think.
Well, Tom Homan going up there is probably going to elevate the acting.
I agree.
It's going to be,
if anything, I agree. I've got a bigger trophy now.
We've got the attention now.
Yeah.
And that's why I really appreciated a peer of mine, Joseph Backholm, who put on Facebook. He said, listen, ICE is in more states than Minnesota, right? Why isn't this happening in other states?
But see, if we fail here, it will.
Yeah.
They have a city-state everywhere. They've got an Austin in Texas. Pick a red state. They've got a city-state where they could do this. They could do this anywhere they want. Yep. And all those other places are looking to see right now to me, this is the and to me, Homan is the closest thing we have to a Sherman. This is Lincoln calling Sherman in and saying Atlanta's a problem, go and solve it. Yeah. All right? And I'm all for that. Yeah. But we need to understand then sometimes you have to solve things the way that Sherman did. Yeah. Sometimes the solutions are not easy, and it's not stuff that you can just summarize in a pithy post on Facebook so no one hates your guts and your family.
So what you're saying, this is me being a former high school principal, is that you're sending Homan in to say we're not going to back down.
Yeah,
we're
correct.
We're here to stay. But then
Daddy's home is basically what you're saying.
But then what are you're saying? Now what are the consequences?
You have to have consequences.
If there's consequences, Trump's approval rating bumps up because there's strong leaders like going into Venezuela, getting Maduro. But now you're saying if I send Homan in, but now
if I'm willing to lay down my life for 1,500 TikTok followers to doxed nobody knew his name ICE agent, what is the social credit that I receive for dying in place of Tom Homan himself, the crown prince of the entire regime?
Right.
I mean, we have to understand now we're never quelling their desire. We have to defeat it.
Yeah. And our job isn't to quell their desire. I still believe, and that's why I think what you see with Trump's approval numbers, which we talked about with the question earlier, is that when you speak to red, white, and blue America, and you show the courage and you show the level of accountability that we're talking about here, his approval numbers go up. You don't show that courage and the level of accountability, then I think you're right. Then you do quell their desires, and the approval numbers will go down.
All right, number 5. Let's go local for a second. Will Trump endorse in the Iowa governor's race by the time you return?
I don't believe he will. It's not
because he's here tomorrow.
He's here tomorrow,
and they put a random date on the schedule, and there was no heads up. We have our first debate in the Iowa Republican gubernatorial primary tomorrow. Moms for Liberty is coming here to host it nationally, and out of nowhere, they post, "Hey, the president's coming to town to give a big speech."
Yeah,
right? So that's created a lot of what's he coming here to do? Right.
Yeah, and initially I thought, listen, there's too many cues that says he is going to endorse in the governor's race. The financial disclosure just came out. He's over there, I believe, in Switzerland at the time, trying to talk about Greenland and those things. And Susie Wallace says, oh, by the way, he's coming to Des Moines as well. So right away, my spidey sense, a lot of people's spidey sense went up like he's probably going to endorse in this governor's race. First of all, it's not his strategy usually to come to a state and to elevate somebody at that. It's more on Truth Social that he does it. But I think he has shown that he has not wanted to get into this governor's race thus far. I don't see it happening. Now, I could be wrong on this one, but I don't see it happening.
Well, now we're learning that this is an official party event tomorrow, right? You'd get into some kind of rules and legal issues if you start endorsing candidates in those kinds of settings.
Yeah, but typically, because I ran with Congressman Jim Nussle back in 2006, and when we brought Bush in, it was always under a White House official visit. That way the taxpayers are paying for it. And then any little skirt off that you have that's political, then all of a sudden that's it's not very much money at all. So I could see him doing that, but I'm not sure what he's going to gain. I think it's going to be an official visit.
All right, two more. Will there be any more church stormings like we just saw in Minneapolis?
I don't believe so. Because one is, I don't think that went over well at any level. I don't think it even went over all that well in the TikTok world. I know they got a lot of video, that kind of stuff, but there's Americans are saying, listen, that's a house of worship. Even when you watch old Westerns, where did they go to hide? They went to the sanctuary. Why? That's a house of worship. I think there's some things that are off limits and off grounds. I don't think there will be. And I think if there is, it'll be at their agenda's demise or peril.
Finally, will any more blue states, I'm starting to call them city states.
Sure.
To use a phrase from antiquity. Will any more of these blue city states attempt to emulate the lawlessness of Minnesota/Minneapolis? Or is that place just uniquely overrun by Marxists?
There's something going on in Minnesota. It's like that place just can't be tamped down at all. I think if you were going to see that, like in Oregon, Portland, start doing it, I think you would have seen it already by now. I don't think they're going to try to get into this realm. I think they're going to leave this up to Minnesota and Minneapolis. And I think right now Minnesota and Minneapolis are too far in to say we're going to back down. And that's why Holman's going in saying you better back down.
All right, slap those headphones on. We got about 5 minutes here for Todd and Aaron to give us a little review of the answers that you gave as well as the questions I asked. Gentlemen, what do you think?
I'll just go back to the beginning about Tim Walz. He's inept if you view him as a leader, but he's not actually a leader. If you know your Hogan's Heroes, he's a very, very loyal Colonel Klink. I know nothing, I see nothing, but he actually knows his connections to China, how many visits over there. We know Bill Clinton's. There's a reason Bill Clinton and Obama and Bill Clinton just got subpoenaed instead of laying low for a while, keeping his powder dry. No, they're out there defending Tim Walz because there is a nexus of power, money, manipulation, and going on, but that probably goes all the way to the Chinese. And that's the reason why people need to think bigger. This isn't just crazy Tim Walz and crazy Minneapolis and what's going on up there. I believe this is a nexus of power, and he is a loyal Marxist, and that's why there's no excuse for not arresting somebody. Otherwise, they absolutely have the plan in play to win. It's an all-in moment. I totally agree with Steve on that.
Yeah. There's no doubt there's a nexus of power. Matter of fact, that's how he got to be the vice president nominee as well.
Yes, exactly.
Because Shapiro out of Pennsylvania, everybody knew he was the best candidate to help Kamala Harris go over the finish line. But they wanted their own who would carry the water for them.
Yes.
And that's Tim Walz. And that's exactly right why you see Obama and Clinton having his back right now.
So this happened, I believe, just as we were coming on the air. President Trump posted on Truth Social, Governor Tim Walz called me with the request to work together with respect to Minnesota. It was a very good call, and we actually seem to be on a similar wavelength, President Trump says. I told Governor Walz that I would have Tom Homan call him and that we are looking for any and all criminals that they have in their possession. The governor very respectfully understood that, and I will be speaking to him in the near future. He was happy that Tom Homan was going to Minnesota, and so am I. We've had such tremendous success in Washington, D.C., Memphis, Tennessee, and New Orleans, Louisiana, and virtually every place we have touched, and even in Minnesota, crime is way down. but both Governor Walz and I want to make it better. That's the quote from Truth Social from President Trump. Now, this is being already cast as Walz backing down. I'm not sure what to make of it. I think the coming days will tell that and answer that question. I will say, however, it is Tim Walz and Jacob Frey, even their police chief in Minneapolis. They are the ones who are fomenting this.
Correct.
What is the motivation for that? Whether or not it's a convenient distraction, whether or not they're actually all in on trying to win a political war. I don't really care what the motivation is. They are doing this on purpose. They are fomenting this on purpose. Whether it's to cover up, distract from the fraud, I don't know. There has to be accountability. Something, if he is not facing some sort of investigation, and they were already subpoenaed last week, we heard, there has to be accountability. If he is not arrested and this continues to go on, that's just going to be an L. I can't spin it any other way than that. So there better not be any backing down whatsoever. There cannot be any backing down in Minnesota. This is a zero-sum this is a zero-sum game, unfortunately. And I wish it weren't so. If we had a functioning social compact, it wouldn't be a zero-sum game. But that's what this has turned into. It's not my first choice, but that's what it is.
Well, Aaron, to let me respond to you real quick. First of all, that Truth Social that you read by Trump, to me, that's a win for Trump. That's a cave for Walz. The cave from Walz might be because he really believes he could get arrested. And so, therefore, either you're going to work this
Well, there's
thing,
another element here in that a whole bunch of major businesses in Minneapolis have put out a statement since last night saying, which they would have never done with the Floyd stuff 5 years ago, saying that this is not good and you guys need to figure this out.
You need to get this under control.
Yeah, so he's got a little bit of domestic pushback. How serious those businesses are, I have no idea. That's way more domestic pushback than happened there with the summer of Floyd 5 years ago, though.
You know, the other lens to put on is, remember ICE. When people are watching this, ICE is about immigration enforcement, right? The very words is about immigration and enforcement. The word Governor Walz, where Frey, where the police chief play a role, is if they worked in connection with the local law enforcement. Local law enforcement is trained in crowd control. How do you tamp down a situation? That's not ICE's training. ICE's training is enforcement. And so by not allowing them to work with ICE, you put your own citizens at risk.
Good stuff, my friend.
Good to see you guys.
Yep, we'll see you in about, 6 weeks, 7 weeks?
Hopefully have a tan.
We'll come back. I got a surprise for the men of America here next. Stay tuned.